Hello, everybody. This is Jadra Patton. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Neighborhood Alliance. And we're doing another one of these Zoom interviews, introducing another one of our directors. Director Rebecca Haywood is the Director of Operations for Shelter and Emergency Services here at Neighborhood Alliance. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great. So we have a couple questions here that we want to ask you. So we'll just jump right into it. Starting off, how has the Haven Center changed its operations during the pandemic regarding the homeless?
So we've had quite a few changes as of late. We actually moved all of our residents off-site out of the shelter, and that was really due to trying to keep them socially distanced and also putting them sort of in semi-quarantine. That way, if they were coming in contact with other family members, if they were working off-site, then when they were coming back to their room, we weren't having all these people gather in the same building and having that potential for an outbreak. So they're off-site now, and that's really changed a lot for us because now we're doing case management off-site, we're delivering meals off-site. So it's given us a little bit of a different view on how to take care of these residents. And then it's also kind of forced them to be a little more independent about how they are getting themselves out of shelter per se, or out of the motel. So it's been a big change for all of us, but we've all tried to work together, and the residents have been very understanding about it. And so far, so good.
Right, so you said there are clients now in hotels. What are your numbers looking like right now?
So the numbers right now are pretty high. It's really a 68 bed facility, but over the last, I would say 30 days, we've had a huge increase in the number of people seeking emergency shelter. The funding is not there for all the agencies to take on all of these people, but we've been really blessed with CARES Act dollars and some other grants and foundation dollars that we've been able to keep people in motels. And so we've had this increase. Right now, I think today we're probably at 97, 98 residents, and we're at about 46 rooms. And that changes daily. We have people move out, we have new people seeking shelter. But that group is a mix. It's individual men, individual women, and then we also have quite a few families in the shelter as well.
Okay, and how have you been feeding all these people?
So that's
go into
been
that a little more.
Yeah, so that's been a huge undertaking. We have paid for some catered meals, and so we put those together on site. We have some volunteers that have been gracious enough to come in and help us pack all of these meals. So right now it's about 600 meals a week that we are doing. We also pack dry goods for them. So, crackers, granola bars, things like that for snacks. And then we're delivering that food at least 3 times a week, sometimes in between if people need something extra. So that's just been a little bit, that's probably been the biggest change for us, is actually doing meals offsite, which normally these would be hot meals that would be prepared and everyone would eat in the dining area. But instead we're carrying all these hot meals offsite and they're eating in their rooms.
Excellent. And also, how has it been working with landlords to get, families out of shelter? How's that been going during the pandemic?
That's been difficult. Because a lot of people have been trying to stay put in their units. There's been the eviction moratorium. On the upside, landlords have been very understanding about people that we have already housed before the pandemic began. But on the downside, we have a lot of people looking for units, and there's not a lot available out there for them. So with everyone trying to stay put, stay in their units, not a lot of evictions happening. There isn't that turnover that we would normally see in housing units. So we're having to dig a little bit deeper, looking for a lot of those private landlords. Driving up and down streets, if we see a sign out front that this house is for rent or a unit is for rent, we're taking down numbers. And that's different than the way we would normally handle it. We would just go to our landlords out there and call and say, do you have a unit? And if they do, we would work on getting someone in there. But now we're really having to dig pretty deep to find those units for people. So it's a little bit of a barrier for us right now.
And then what exactly is the criteria for taking in clients to the Haven Center / motels?
So the criteria for that is just someone who is outside needing emergency shelter. During the week, during business hours, we would prefer that they call coordinated entry, which is the main intake center for anyone seeking homelessness or seeking shelter in Lorain County. But when it's nighttime and on the weekends, overnight, we actually get those calls here at the shelter, or people will just come to the shelter because normally we would be open. So if people come here straight to the shelter, then we will probably put them in the motel and just give them a voucher until we can figure out what else to do with them, until we can figure out some diversion. But other than that, they can just call CE and go ahead and go through their intake process. And that may put them in contact with us, depending on their situation and what they're needing.
Right, because we have a focus on, getting families into shelter, but also single men and single women. So that criteria is just different, going through that coordinated entry. And do you have that phone number for coordinated entry?
I do. You want to share that? It is 440-242-0455.
Awesome. And then, so to go ahead and wrap up this interview, because we wanted to keep it short, we do want to do this kind of regularly. So we'll probably have you back on here in a couple weeks. But for now, how can people help? What can people do to help support the Haven Center through this crazy time we're going through right now?
Yeah, so we're still expecting, we still have to feed people. So that's probably one of the biggest needs we have now. We're expecting residents to come back into shelter at some point as well. So we still need those donations that we have always needed, which would be twin sheets, fitted sheets, flat sheets, twin size blankets, new pillows, because we give new pillows to all of the new residents coming in, towels, washcloths, because once we hand those out to residents, when they leave here, they take those items with them. So we're always needing to replenish those types of items. Any type of toiletries, shampoo, conditioner, soap, shaving gel, razors, toothbrushes, toothpaste. Those are all good items that we use here in the shelter, and we go through a lot of that. And then while they're offsite at the motels, really any type of dry goods. So snack foods are good, granola bars, things for kids snacks might be, Cheerios in a little cup, things like that. So the kids, I would say, probably don't get a lot of those type of snack foods. They get probably what we're putting in for a lot of the adults, but we do try to put things in there like goldfish. It's good snack foods for the kids so that when they're in between meals, as we know, kids don't always eat 3 times a day, they snack all throughout the day. So those are some good items that we would need to. I think we have about 30 children right now in the motels. So that would be great.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. This has been great talking to you and kind of getting some of this information out there to our supporters and donors. For anybody watching this that wants to get more involved, you can always visit our website. It is www.myneighborhoodalliance.org. Or you can follow us on Facebook at My Alliance NEO to really kind of get more up-to-date information or requests on what's actually needed at the shelter. If you wanted to send any of these items that Rebecca has requested, you can always go on Amazon, or we have an Amazon Smiles account. You can always go on Amazon and just ship them directly to the shelter, which is always nice if you are looking for a more no contact type of situation. The address is 1536 East 30th Street, Lorain, 44053. All this information is also available on our website. And thank you so much, Rebecca. I appreciate your time this morning, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.